Articelli from 2Fab here. How are
Good.
you? Jen, I will ask only one Ben Affleck question right
Ah,
off the top.
only one.
Do you think he'll watch?
Oh, he better.
He's got to.
And he better be a fan. And he better
Right?
follow me back on Instagram.
Follow me back.
All right. So I have seen all the screeners. I know I have been told you have not yet, but I'm ready for everyone else to see this show. Right off the gate, the first episode just hits it. We have a swinging scandal, talk of porn addiction, and arrest. I mean, it is, yeah, right out the gate. But for you, I'm curious, since the promos, the trailers have come out, talk about the show, what has the reaction been like for you in the Mormon community?
Wild.
Yes, it has been crazy out here. No question.
We're in a jungle.
Yes, it has definitely been crazy, but we have to remind ourselves to just take a step back
To
and
ground ourselves.
yes, and realize that like a lot of this is for clickbait and there's so much more to it. And you know what? The clickbait and comments and hate is great because that means more people are going to tune in and watch it and actually hear our
Mhm.
stories and lives, which I think is what we're excited
Yeah.
about.
Well, and it seems so loud because we do live in Utah and most of the hate is coming from Utah. So
Yeah.
anywhere outside of
Right.
Utah, it doesn't seem as loud and deafening.
Yeah.
The calls are coming from within the house.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you think the perception, at least locally, will change after the show has been out? I mean, how do you think those conversations will go after it drops, I guess?
No, I feel like it's gonna get worse before it gets better, to be honest. I feel like it's kind of gonna throw people in a loop. I mean, they see such a small portion just from the name being released, from the trailer being released, and then to have 8 episodes come out, I feel like it's definitely gonna get worse before it gets better, like everything does. So we're just kind of preparing ourselves,
Yes, but I feel
setting our therapy appointments now.
yes, but I feel like for the most part, we've gotten a lot of support, even just with the
Yes,
hate now.
I think it does depend, and everyone handles it differently too. Like some of the women are really good at brushing it off and being like, whatever, and some of them
Yeah.
take it harder. So I think it's just different on each person.
Yeah.
And I know, obviously, going into this, there is so much talk about the swinging scandal, even though only one of you it was involved with it in it directly, allegedly, who have copped to it.
More swingers are coming season 2.
But I guess for you, what has it been like navigating that aspect of it? Having that be such a focal point when it really isn't something that involved you directly, other than people maybe assuming you were.
I think for me, it's so far from truth that it makes me laugh. I'm like, if
Yeah.
you actually think I'm a swinger, like that's so funny to me. Like it just makes me laugh.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I think it's hilarious, but it's such a great, interesting grabbing point. And so for me, like
Yes.
Jen said, I think it's just funny and it's so far-fetched that it's like if people actually think that, who cares? Because I know I'm not a swinger. My husband, I don't know. So yeah, own your truth.
And I'm curious.
Swing dance. But
Once the show is out there, are you going to be watching it with, your husbands? What do you think their reaction will be? I know obviously this is more towards Jen. Just how do you think he'll react to seeing some of the stuff that happened? Do you think it'll change maybe his perception of everything? Will it spark more conversation?
It'll definitely be exposure therapy for us. I think we'll be able to watch the first couple episodes together. As for the end,
maybe with a therapist.
I might have to watch it by myself
Yeah.
in a room
Yeah.
with a tissue box.
I don't know.
Do you think it might like reopen old wounds? I mean, I guess how are you two right now?
We're great. I feel like since the show
Yeah.
finished doing nonstop therapy. And so at this point, I really feel like we've healed from everything and we've been completely vulnerable and honest. And it definitely needed to happen. Like it's definitely helped us in so many ways. And I think at this point, it's only just exposure therapy. And
I'm more so worried about our friendships, to be honest.
yes.
I don't know what
Mm.
people are saying
I'm
behind the
like,
scenes.
yeah, yep, I agree.
Right. Are you ready to hear what you all were saying about each other in your
Oh,
confessionals?
everyone keeps saying that, and now I'm worried.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
That comes with the reality TV territory, I think.
I know. Oh no. That's when
Sure.
everything goes down to the interviews.
Yes.
Well, right, and you guys all have such big platforms. It's like once you start watching the show and talking maybe at each other about some of the things you're hearing, I'm curious how that'll go.
Me too.
And I'm curious, how do you think maybe this show could spark more conversation about like women's roles in the Mormon church? I know that it was a goal for a lot of you for doing Mom Talk in the first place, was kind of exposing maybe it might not be what everyone thinks it is, or maybe trying to spark some change there.
Yeah, I think that was like everyone's main goal. And even if it's not changing the Mormon culture, it's changing just stereotypical Utah mom or mom culture in general. So I think that was
Mm,
something that's big and everyone's on the top of everyone's list is just there's change that needs to be happening. And we have just with this generation too, I think we put ourselves in so many uncomfortable positions and situations and conversations. And I think that'll truly spark a discussion and hopefully change at the end of the day, even though it might get a little scary for a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah. At least in my experience, I was getting really mixed up, and it kind of hurt my testimony for a while, but I was getting really mixed up with what was culturally being taught to me and
Mhm.
what is actually doctrine within the church. And
Mm,
culturally, it is very traditional for the woman to stay home and take care of the
Yeah.
kids and not work, and for the man to provide. But in my situation, I was forced to provide with my husband going to med school. My husband, like, I don't have an option. I have to be able to pay the bills, like feed my children. And so those roles naturally were reversed. And I'm like, is this the culture teaching me, or is this the church? And when I actually took time to study the doctrine, study what the church actually teaches, there's nothing in the church that teaches that we have specific gender roles. That's not the case at all. In
mm,
fact, we're taught that we are equal in God's eyes, and that we have divine roles. Biologically, women were meant to nurture, and biologically, men were meant to provide. But that doesn't mean that you have to be that role. What matters is that we are equal, and even applying that into our lives after the show helped us so much. And I think people are so quick to judge the church, but they don't realize a lot of this is culture, like culture teaching
mm.
us. We're here to teach our culture that these things need to change. And also because that's not what we believe in.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're learning as well. So it sounds like it's been a good experience.
yes.
But thank you both for your time today. I can't wait for everyone else to see the show, and have a good one.
Thank you so
You
much.
too.